Alright, I find myself with a head and a chest full of conflicting thoughts and feelings on the Mayweather vs McGregor matchup set for August of this year. The announcement of a contract signed and date set hit the news this week. The excitement and media takeover immediately commenced with a diverse mix of boxing fans, MMA fans, entertainment enthusiasts, and everyone else you can think of. Of course, media outlets are licking their chops to get up to the minute information on everything from training camp plans on both sides to which sports rules will take precedence. From the first mention of the possibility of the fight, I've been openly critical of it, but for some reason now I find myself torn. And for good reason, I believe. My original position was that Conor McGregor is not a boxer. He's also not undefeated in his own sport. For these two reasons alone, I felt made him unsuitable of an opponent for a man who seems to want to be considered the greatest boxer ever. TBE, right? For Mayweather, the Marciano record of 50-0 in boxing, shouldn't that 50th fight be with a legitimate boxer? And also one that will raise the status bar as a notable and currently relevant boxer. To add to that thought, I also felt that this is simply a money grab circus to only benefit the business people involved. It does nothing for the legacy of the sport of boxing to bring Conor McGregor over to the sport for one night. Those were my original feelings. That was how I felt. Somehow I've ventured into a different viewpoint though. Here's my conflicting view that has this internal battle going on inside of my head. If I didn't absolutely love boxing as a fighter, a coach, and a spectator, I would not be having this internal battle in my head. I wouldn't be bothered at all. But I am so I'm so involved in this emotionally and mentally that I had to say how I felt. So here it goes. At this point, I'm understanding a few things. Floyd Mayweather Jr., whatever he has the right to want to be addressed as, has a realistic ambition to repeat his triumph as the highest paid athlete in any sport. As a businessman, should he not? It's an honest, it's an honest living, and it's a great thing to market yourself as a boxer. Show up, do your job, and take home what the people pay you. I can't knock the hustle. If the business yields enough revenue to propel him to the top of the money flow, again, so be it. As far as the legacy of boxing, over the years, boxing as a whole has struggled to be a sports powerhouse. Of course, there are a select few matchups that generate serious interest and cash flow, but those are very few. Boxing has failed to propel more than a handful of fighters to stardom. There are several reasons for this, but for now, I'll just deal with my view on how Mayweather versus McGregor can possibly inject a new energy and excitement around boxing for people who don't usually follow our sport. The Mayweather versus McGregor fight is taking up a lot of time in the playlist of major media outlets. That means the viral effect will take hold and drive tons of interest from those who don't necessarily look for information on boxing. It's in their faces now. Repeatedly, this will lead to more viewers watching boxing-related things. It'll create more of an interest in boxing for those who don't follow the sport normally. This will lead more viewers to view the fight on fight night, to tune in, to maybe pay for the pay-per-view or find somewhere to watch it. More sponsors will jump in, create more revenue. Here's how it will go further to help the sport. There will be an undercard put together primarily by Mayweather Promotions. Presumably, the undercard will be some of the best up-and-coming talent who deserve to become household names and reach a greater earning potential. When non-boxing followers get a night full of outstanding entertainment and find themselves new fans of the up-and-coming talent, they see the undercard, the fan base of the sport grows. On top of all that, this could lead to more MMA fighters wanting to cross-train with boxing trainers, putting more of a spotlight on boxing as a whole when the MMA fight builds up, with in between MMA fight build-ups and those all-access documentaries that show up before fights. If they're highlighting boxing trainers, then that will bring more interest to boxing possibly. Lastly, with Canelo versus Golovkin on the horizon, this may be more of a push for Golden Boy Promotions to work even harder to provide more spectacular boxing shows and events along with the other promotion teams. All in all, maybe this is a great pay opportunity for the fighters and their teams and the great business and culture opportunity for the sport of boxing. So it's an opportunity for not only the people involved in this particular fight, but maybe for boxing as a whole. Maybe this will bring more attention to boxing, more of a fan base. But it has to be done right. It has to be done spectacular, and they have to capitalize on the moment. It has to be properly marketed. I would love to see more of these up-and-coming fighters become household names and people that get paid right. And maybe this is some weird stuff for a lot of people, but perhaps this could be a step in the direction that will get us back there. Please leave comments, subscribe. Peace.